Meanwhile, citizenship is about to get harder as of December 1st, 2020. Previously, when you would go for your citizenship interview, you would get asked, they wouldn't answer any of your questions. You would get asked 10 immigration questions. This is not speed round. What am I talking about today? You would get asked 10 citizenship questions on government and civics history. You would have to get 6 right. They would give you 100 questions to study. You don't know which out of those 100 questions you're going to be asked, but you know you're going to be asked 10. You got to get 6 right. Now, as of December 1st, the citizenship test will be taking questions from 128 questions. So now you will have to study 128 questions, not 100 questions. And you will be asked 20 of them, not 10 of them, and you now have to get 12 out of 20 right. You still have to get 60%. But now the citizenship test, as of December 1st, instead of 6 out of 10, it's now 12 out of 20, and you now have to study 128 government and civics questions, and out of those, you're going to be asked 20.
What do you think led to this, Brad?
Because they are trying to stop people who have perhaps less of an education, or perhaps people whose English is not their first language from becoming U.S. citizens. Why? Because people in that situation, minorities, are less likely to vote Republican. They want to make less Democratic voters and more Republican voters. And generally speaking, immigrants in totality, whether you're a minority, whether you're educated, less educated, it really doesn't matter. As a group, immigrants are going to vote Democrat over Republican. So I think, in combination, they're just trying to make less Democrats and keep a Republican majority. That's the only reason behind it.
Don Harriet is asking, do you think that Biden would change this?
Maybe. I think he's going to change the DACA rules. So, for example, right now, DACA recipients can't travel on advanced parole. I think you'll be able to. I think DACA recipients who travel on advanced parole after August of 2020 are not eligible to adjust if they get married. I think that will change. Even if the Department of Homeland Security appeals this decision by a judge and says, no, we're not going to accept new DACA applicants, I think they're going to accept new DACA applicants. In terms of the citizenship questions, I don't know as much about that. I don't know what Biden's position is on that, so I can't tell you. I would hope he would. I would hope he would, but I have not read anything or heard him say anything about citizenship questions. I don't think, the citizenship test is #1 thing that he is coming out to the news to talk about. But we'll see. Maybe. I don't know. I know he said he's going to reverse a lot of the DACA, and that he is also in the
that's good.
And also in the first 100 days is going to introduce legislation to make DACA recipients eligible for green cards in some respect.
Nice.
We'll see what he says there as well. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.